Respect doesn't come from explaining yourself, it comes from showing them what it means to live without you. When your actions replace your words, the message becomes undeniable. I am not here to be overlooked. They won't respect you until they fear losing you. Walking away is not giving up. It's showing them that your presence is a privilege, not a guarantee. And when you do it with confidence, you don't just earn their respect. You remind them of the value they should have never overlooked. This is the moment where everything shifts. Walking away doesn't mean silence. It speaks louder than any words could. It says, I am worth more than this, and forces the other person to question everything they thought they knew about you. Respect begins when you stop chasing it and start living it. Distance creates space for reflection. For them, it means understanding what your absence truly feels like. For you, it's a chance to step back into your power, to break free from emotional entanglement, and to rebuild the foundation of your self-worth. This isn't about punishing them, it's about healing you. Spiritually, walking away is a declaration of trust in yourself. You're not just saying, I can let go, you're showing, I deserve more. And that energy, the quiet confidence of knowing your worth, changes everything. It pulls their attention not because you're demanding it, but because you're no longer seeking it. Emotionally, this act transforms fear into strength. The fear of being forgotten turns into the courage to value yourself, regardless of their actions. The fear of losing them gives way to the realization that losing yourself was never an option. When you walk away, you're not just stepping back from them, you're stepping forward into a new version of yourself. It's here, in this space of growth and clarity, that respect is born. Whether they choose to come back or not, you've already won. In this chapter, we'll uncover why the first step to making them respect you is the boldest step you'll ever take: walking away. Respect starts from within. The moment you decide to shift your focus from them to yourself, everything changes. It's not about erasing their importance or pretending they never mattered. It's about recognizing that your power lies in one undeniable truth: you can only control yourself. This realization marks the beginning of a profound transformation, one that redefines how you view yourself and how others perceive you. When you walk away, it's natural to wonder how they're reacting. Are they missing you? Do they regret losing you? These thoughts can quickly turn into a loop, trapping you in the same emotional patterns that held you back before. But here is where the mindset shift becomes essential. Instead of giving your energy to questions about them, you redirect it toward building yourself. This isn't an act of indifference, it's a declaration of self-respect. You're saying, my life is worth more than being tethered to someone who doesn't see my value. By choosing to focus on yourself, you take back the role of the main character in your own life. When you allow someone else to dominate your thoughts, actions, and emotions, you unconsciously hand over that role. But reclaiming it begins with asking, who do I want to become now? What version of myself will inspire me, not just them? These questions aren't just reflective. They're the foundation for building a life centered on your growth, rather than their reactions. The psychological impact of this shift is undeniable. When you stop chasing their validation, you create a space where your own value can flourish. People naturally respect those who carry themselves with purpose and confidence, and that shift in energy is palpable. They will notice, not because you're demanding their attention, but because you've withdrawn it and placed it somewhere far more important, on yourself. This act of redirection forces them to reevaluate what they've taken for granted. It's not an easy journey, though. Stepping away from old habits means facing some difficult truths. Why did you stay in a situation where you felt unseen or disrespected? What part of you believed their acknowledgement was more important than your own? These questions can feel uncomfortable, but they are necessary. Each answer is a step closer to understanding the patterns that held you back, and each realization is a tool for breaking free. As you begin to focus on yourself, your life takes on a new rhythm. You start small, setting goals that are entirely about you, like rebuilding a routine that energizes you or rediscovering hobbies that you once loved. These actions may seem simple, but they are transformative. Each moment spent nurturing your growth is a step toward becoming someone who is not only respected by others, but deeply admired by yourself. Spiritually, this journey is about returning to your center. It's about realizing that your worth was never tied to their validation. You are whole, and you always were. Walking away isn't about rejection. It's about alignment. When you focus on yourself, you reconnect with your inner strength, your intuition, and the truth that you were never incomplete without them. You begin to see yourself as the incredible, resilient person you are, capable of standing tall and moving forward with grace. This shift doesn't just change how you see yourself, it changes how others see you. When you carry yourself with renewed confidence, people notice. Your energy becomes magnetic, drawing others toward you, not because you're chasing their approval, but because you've stopped needing it. This is the paradox of respect. The more you value yourself, the more others are compelled to do the same. The mindset shift from them to you is more than a decision. It's a process. It takes time, patience, and courage to step into this new version of yourself. But with every small step you take, you gain momentum. You move further away from the weight of their influence and closer to the freedom of living fully as yourself. By the time they begin to notice the change, you will have already evolved. Whether they choose to respect you, return to you, or remain in your past becomes secondary. What matters is that you have reclaimed the respect you always deserved, first from yourself and then from the world around you. Walking away isn't just an act of letting go, it's an act of stepping forward. The moment you shift your mindset from them to you, you take back your power. And in that power lies a respect that no one can take away. Walking away is one of the most courageous decisions you can make, but it comes with its own set of challenges. Emotional traps, those moments of nostalgia, guilt, and self-doubt, can feel like invisible hands pulling you back into old patterns. These emotions are not signs of failure. They are part of the process. To move forward, you must first understand these traps and learn how to navigate through them. Nostalgia is often the first to appear. It paints the past in golden hues, making you long for the moments of connection, laughter, and love you once shared. Your mind replays those highlights as if they define the entire relationship, conveniently omitting the hurt, the imbalance, and the reasons you chose to walk away. Nostalgia is deceptive. It clings to the good and erases the bad. To break free, you must confront this selective memory. Remind yourself why you left. Write it down if you need to. The decision to distance yourself wasn't made on a whim. It was rooted in the recognition that the relationship, as it was, didn't honor your worth. Nostalgia will try to convince you otherwise, but clarity will keep you grounded. Guilt is another powerful trap. It whispers insidious questions like, "What if I had tried harder?" Or, "Was I selfish to leave?" This guilt often stems from a deep-seated desire to avoid causing pain to others, even at the expense of your own peace. But here's the truth. Staying in a situation that diminishes you isn't noble. It's harmful. By walking away, you're not abandoning someone else. You're choosing to stand up for yourself. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and guilt fades when you accept that prioritizing your well-being is not selfish. It's essential. Then there's self-doubt, the most persistent and crippling of all emotional traps. It sneaks in during quiet moments, making you question your decision. What if I wasn't enough? It asks. What if they were right to leave? Self-doubt can feel like a storm cloud hanging over your progress, casting shadows on the path ahead. But here's the counter to self-doubt. Trust. Trust in your decision, in the strength it took to walk away, and in the certainty that you are worthy of love and respect. Every time doubt arises, remember that leaving was not an impulsive act. It was an act of self-preservation. These traps are difficult because they target your deepest emotions, and emotions are powerful. They can make you question what you know to be true. But emotions by nature are fleeting. What feels unbearable today will shift with time, especially if you commit to moving forward. Acknowledge your feelings. They are valid, but do not let them define your path. The goal is not to suppress these emotions, but to understand them, to see them as a part of your healing process rather than obstacles to your growth. To navigate these traps, you need clear mental boundaries. When nostalgia strikes, write down the reasons you chose to walk away. Keep that list close and read it whenever your mind tries to romanticize the past. When guilt appears, remind yourself that you are allowed to prioritize your well-being. Think of it as setting a foundation for future relationships built on mutual respect. When self-doubt arises, focus on small, tangible actions that rebuild your confidence. Whether it's accomplishing a personal goal, reconnecting with old passions, or simply practicing self-care. Giving yourself grace is also crucial. Walking away is not just a decision, it's a journey. There will be days when these emotional traps feel overwhelming, and that's okay. Progress isn't linear, and healing doesn't happen overnight. What matters is that each time you face these traps, you learn to navigate them with a little more strength and clarity. Every small victory, every moment you choose yourself, is a step toward the freedom you deserve. Understanding emotional traps doesn't mean eliminating them completely. It means seeing them for what they are, temporary, not permanent. With time, their grip will loosen, and you'll find yourself moving forward with a renewed sense of peace and self-respect. This clarity will become the foundation for the life and relationships you truly deserve. As you move past emotional traps, one of the most critical steps is building a clear mental narrative. This narrative provides stability and focus, anchoring you in reality rather than speculation. It's not about creating a story for others to understand. It's about giving yourself the clarity needed to move forward with purpose. A strong mental narrative becomes your internal guide, helping you navigate the aftermath of walking away. To build this narrative, you must start by defining your own truth. Too often, when relationships end, there are unanswered questions and unresolved emotions. It's natural to wonder why they acted a certain way, or if things could have been different. However, filling in those gaps with assumptions only deepens confusion. Your narrative should focus on what you know for certain, your experiences, your feelings, and the choices you made to prioritize your well-being. Accepting that some answers may never come is part of the process. This clarity also requires recognizing what is and isn't your responsibility. The other person's actions, their inability to meet your needs, or their failure to communicate openly are not reflections of your worth. They are simply facts about their limitations. By focusing on what you can control, your actions, your growth, you reclaim the power that is often lost when you dwell on what you couldn't change. As you construct your narrative, it's important to avoid dwelling on hypotheticals. Thoughts like, what if I had done something differently? Or, maybe they'll come back if I just wait, are distractions. These ideas keep you tied to the past and prevent you from fully stepping into the life you're building. Instead, focus on affirming the choices you've made and reinforcing the boundaries you've established. Your narrative should reflect the strength it took to walk away and the clarity you are gaining now. Language plays a crucial role in shaping your mental narrative. The words you use to describe your situation influence how you feel about it. Replace self-critical thoughts with affirmations of self-respect. For example, instead of thinking, "I wasn't enough," remind yourself, "I chose to value myself." These shifts in language help you reframe the situation in a way that supports your growth and strengthens your resolve. To maintain this clarity, consistency is essential. Your mental narrative isn't something you create once and forget. It's a framework you reinforce daily. When doubts or emotions arise, revisit the facts that ground you. Remind yourself of your reasons for walking away and the progress you've made since. Each time you affirm your narrative, you strengthen your ability to resist the pull of old patterns and focus on your future. It's also crucial to redefine how you perceive the relationship and its role in your life. Rather than viewing it as a failure or a source of regret, see it as a chapter that taught you valuable lessons about yourself. It revealed what you need, what you value, and what you will no longer accept. These insights are not setbacks. They are tools for building a stronger, more intentional version of yourself. As you refine your mental narrative, you'll notice a shift in how you carry yourself. This clarity brings a sense of stability that allows you to focus on what truly matters: your growth, your peace, and your future. The mental clutter that once consumed your thoughts begins to fade, replaced by a clear sense of purpose and direction. Building a clear mental narrative is an ongoing process. It requires patience, self-awareness, and a commitment to your own well-being. The more you align your thoughts with your values and priorities, the more you'll find yourself moving forward with confidence and strength. With a clear mental narrative established, a deeper transformation begins, elevating your standards and reinventing yourself. This is not about changing to impress others, but about aligning your actions, mindset, and environment with the respect you now know you deserve. It's an act of choosing to honor your worth in every decision you make, shaping a life that reflects strength, confidence, and authenticity. Elevating your standards starts with understanding what truly matters to you. Often, settling for less comes from a lack of clarity about what you value most. Take time to reflect on the qualities you seek in relationships, friendships, and even in yourself. Defining these values creates a framework that helps you recognize what aligns with your growth and what holds you back. Reinvention involves more than thinking differently. It requires action. Small, intentional changes in how you live your daily life accumulate into a profound shift. This could mean adopting healthier habits, learning to say no without guilt, or rediscovering passions that were sidelined. Each of these changes reinforces the message that your time and energy are precious and should be spent in ways that nourish you. Your surroundings have a powerful influence on your ability to elevate your standards. The people and environments you engage with either encourage growth or keep you stagnant. It's essential to create space for relationships that challenge you positively and support your evolution while distancing yourself from those that drain or diminish you. This doesn't mean cutting people off recklessly. It's about prioritizing connections that uplift and inspire you. Taking care of your physical appearance can also be part of this process, not out of vanity, but as a reflection of self-respect. Whether it's refining your style, embracing a fitness routine, or adopting healthier habits, these outward expressions of care signal a renewed commitment to yourself. They aren't about external validation, but about feeling confident and comfortable in your own skin. Your emotional well-being is equally crucial. Developing tools to manage stress, seeking support through therapy, or simply allowing yourself to release lingering emotional baggage can be transformative. Emotional reinvention often involves letting go of past hurts, not to forget them, but to free yourself from their hold. Communication plays a vital role in how you establish and maintain these new standards. Learning to articulate your needs, boundaries, and desires with clarity and conviction shows others how to treat you. This isn't about demanding respect, it's about embodying it. When you speak from a place of confidence, people notice, and they adjust their behavior accordingly. Reinvention also means exploring new opportunities and embracing growth. Pursuing a goal you've set aside, trying something new, or stepping into a role that challenges you are all ways to expand your perspective and redefine what you believe you're capable of achieving. Each experience adds layers to your confidence and deepens your understanding of your potential. Consistency is key to maintaining elevated standards. It's not about perfection, but about showing up for yourself, even when it feels inconvenient or difficult. This consistency builds self-trust, a quality that radiates outward and changes how others perceive and interact with you. When you honor your own commitments, you demonstrate that your time, energy, and boundaries are non-negotiable. Self-reinvention is deeply personal and doesn't follow a single blueprint. For some, it may involve dramatic, visible changes, while for others, it might mean quieter, internal shifts. The common thread is authenticity, becoming the version of yourself that feels true and fulfilling. This isn't about fitting anyone's expectations, but about stepping into your own power and living in alignment with what brings you joy and peace. Elevating your standards and reinventing yourself isn't a one-time act. It's a continual journey of self-discovery. With each intentional choice, you move further away from the version of yourself that accepted less than you deserved, and closer to a life that reflects your full potential. As you elevate your standards and begin to embody the best version of yourself, another truth becomes clear. Absence has value. The space you create by letting go does not signal defeat. It becomes a powerful tool for transformation. Letting go is not about loss, it's about making room for something greater. It is through this absence that respect, clarity, and even renewed connection can emerge. When you step away, you break the cycle of constantly being available. People often take for granted what is always within reach. By removing yourself, you give the other person the opportunity to feel your absence. This is not an act of manipulation. It's an honest demonstration of self-respect. It forces them to confront what life feels like without your presence. Distance provides clarity for both sides. For the other person, it highlights what you brought to their life, things they may not have noticed before. For you, it allows space to reevaluate the relationship with objectivity. In the absence of constant interaction, emotions settle, and you can see things for what they truly are, not through the lens of attachment or longing. The value of absence also lies in the strength it conveys. Walking away sends a message that you are not afraid to prioritize yourself. This quiet confidence is often what draws others back, not because you've tried to convince them, but because they sense the strength of your resolve. Absence creates a vacuum, and in that space, respect begins to grow. Absence isn't about waiting for the other person to notice or respond. It's about focusing on your own journey. By redirecting your energy inward, you create growth and transformation. This shift in focus not only empowers you, but also changes the dynamics of the relationship. The value they once overlooked becomes undeniable when they realize it is no longer theirs to take for granted. Letting go to gain is a concept rooted in trust, not in the other person, but in yourself. Trust that the distance you create will bring clarity, respect, and a stronger sense of self. Trust that by stepping away, you are making space for something better, whether it's a renewed connection or the freedom to embrace new possibilities. As the power of absence takes root, something remarkable begins to happen. Transformation. This journey, born from walking away, is not just about gaining respect from others. It's about rediscovering the respect you owe to yourself. The ultimate transformation isn't about them. It's about the person you become when you prioritize your worth and your growth. Every choice you've made, from shifting your mindset to elevating your standards, has brought you closer to this transformation. It is in these deliberate actions that your new self emerges, not defined by the past or the expectations of others, but by your commitment to living authentically. This transformation is not loud or boastful. It is quiet and unshakable, built on the foundation of everything you've learned. Confidence grows as you see the effects of honoring your boundaries. You carry yourself differently, no longer seeking approval but standing firmly in your own value. This change doesn't require explanation. It speaks for itself. Those around you take notice, not because you demand attention, but because your presence exudes clarity and self-assurance. Transformation also extends to how you view relationships. The need to hold on or prove your worth fades as you realize that real connections are built on mutual respect. You no longer fear losing people who do not value you, because you've learned that your peace is worth more than proximity. This clarity reshapes the way you engage with the world, allowing you to attract healthier dynamics and reject anything that undermines your growth. Your transformation is not about forgetting the past, but about using it as a source of strength. The challenges you faced, the doubts you overcame, and the standards you elevated all contribute to the person you are now. They are not burdens, but stepping stones, each one reinforcing the truth that you are enough. The ultimate transformation is an ongoing journey. It doesn't end with the respect you earn from others. It continues with the respect you nurture within yourself. By choosing this path, you've done more than walk away. You've walked forward, creating a life that reflects your highest potential and deepest values. If this video resonates with you and has sparked a transformation in your perspective, take a moment to reflect on what you've learned and how you can apply it in your life. Growth starts with a single choice, and your commitment to yourself is the most powerful step you can take. If you found value in this content and it inspired or helped you, consider sharing your thoughts or giving a super thanks. Your support means the world and helps us continue creating content that empowers and uplifts. Thank you for being part of this journey.